okay, I'm going to make one more video about all the stuff that's been going on. And then I'm probably, after this, I'm going to continue my regular content. Okay, I'm going to talk about free speech a little bit. Okay, I'm going to be bringing up some very touchy subjects. I'm going to be talking about, immigration. I'm going to be talking about political correctness. I'm going to be talking about the left versus the right. And as Christians, how are we supposed to navigate the situation? All right. So I think people are very confused about what free speech means. Like, yes, there's the Constitution, there's free speech. And this is just the kind of confusion and nonsense you're going to get if you just don't follow the rules of God first. Okay? Free speech, did you know in America, it is not illegal for you to be racist. It's not illegal for you to believe certain things and say certain things. Okay? You can be racist in America. The KKK is a real organization. They're still around. They have rallies and stuff like that too. It's not illegal for them to do that. They're not. You can't be arrested for being racist. You can't be arrested for wanting to kill another person, as long as you don't actually do it. It's not illegal. Okay? There are things in America. You can legally kill a baby in America. Okay? This is what happens if you don't follow God's rules and just follow the country's rules. You're gonna get all confused. You can say whatever you want, but there are sub rules. There's rules on different communities. There's rules on TV. There's the FCC. There's rules on YouTube, TikTok. There are rules. Just like you have the right to say whatever you want and not get arrested, they can kick you out for whatever they want. That's their platform. They can kick you out. Like, if you go to another person's house and you're going to be racist, no, it's free speech. It's free speech. You're right. It's legal, but that person also has the right to kick you out of their house. Like, if you go to another person's house, they can kick you out whenever they want, right? You don't have the right to live there forever. So, yeah, I think people are getting all confused with the free speech thing. Free speech is legality. You're not going to get arrested, but you might get fired or taken off a platform, okay? And that's not illegal. That they have just like you have the right to say whatever you want, they have the right to kick you out. It's not illegal to have free speech, but people are getting confused with the legality of it, okay? And I wish people would just follow the rules of God, because there are some weird, sometimes it lines up with the country's rules and sometimes it doesn't. For example, I think it should absolutely be illegal to drink and sell alcohol. I think alcohol is a pointless thing. It kills so many people. So many crimes are done when people are drunk. I think prohibition could come back. I know it's probably not going to. There's no logical reason why alcohol is legal. It just causes problems. It causes so many deaths, and the only reason why people have it around because they want it, and it's pointless. It's a pointless thing to have. And people will make the argument that, well, countries who sell lots of alcohol and tobacco, they can make a lot of money with the taxes. That's probably why, a logical reason why. But technically, you're making money off of people dying, because alcohol and tobacco doesn't help anyone. Okay, it costs people's lives, and you're just making money off it. And this is why, according to God, this is illegal. It is not legal for you to, in the eyes of God, for you to be drunk all the time. Okay, because you're contributing to this, right? So yeah, this is why you have to follow the rules of God first. And there's those Bible passages that tell you to follow the rules of the land. You have to follow the rules of the land, but the God's land needs to come first all the time. If you want to be a balanced person for God, right? Alcohol should be illegal, I believe, but it's not, okay? For example, in America, it's not legal, it's not illegal to drink and be drunk at your house. Like, you can be drunk as you want at your house. You can watch PORN at your house, but to God, those are illegal, okay? As long as you're not on the road and stuff, you can do a lot of bad, nasty things at home, okay? And that's why you should follow the rules of God first, because a lot of this free speech stuff doesn't even make sense. Alright? A lot of this legality in America doesn't make sense. That's why you should follow the rules of God first. You're gonna get all confused. Yeah, free speech, but I think it's not illegal to have free speech, but people can get you fired. You're not gonna get arrested, but you can get kicked out of someone's house. You can get kicked out of a platform. I think people are confused about the free speech. It just means it's not illegal. It just means it's not illegal. You're not gonna get thrown in jail. Okay? You can be racist, and it's legal to be racist. You can do all kinds of nasty stuff, and it's technically legal, right? Like abortion and all that stuff. Yeah, I think people are confusing free speech. Like you're not gonna be thrown in jail for saying a lot of things, but it's not illegal for them to get fired. You're like, you know what I mean? I'm like, what are you confused about? It's just a legality thing mostly. And you have to remember, God doesn't just judge you on your actions. He judges you on how you actually feel. If you feel hate in your heart for a group of people, okay, if you really feel hate in your heart, God, you're gonna be judged by that. You can sit at home and not actually do anything bad, illegal. But if you're sitting at home being racist, or if you want this group of people to go to be gone, or that group of people to be gone, if you want people from other countries to be gone, like I'm talking about deleted, like permanently deleted. If you actually want people to DIE in your heart, if you really want them to because trust me, half the world is like that right now. If you really want them to DIE, God sees that, and you're gonna get judged for that. Okay. If you know what I mean, like I'm not happy with anything that's going on right now. It's just a lot of hate usually, okay, and it might be justified about what's going on. God might be having to allow it because the whole left side has gone crazy, and God is laying some smackdown on right now. But I generally want these people to repent. I don't want them to die and go to hell. I don't. Okay, but some Christians, and that's a thing that Christians have a problem with sometimes. They see a group of people that's being evil, alright, whether it be the homosexual thing or people in false religions, and they just want them to die and go to hell. If you have that feeling, you really need to check yourself, okay? If you're like, oh, I just want all these people on the left to die and go to hell. If you actually feel that way, you really need to reconnect with God, okay? I think having that kind of reaction is very dangerous, okay? I understand that people are mad and frustrated, okay, but if you actually genuinely want people to die and go to hell, like you're looking forward to it, that's the problem, okay? It's the unbalanced heart, okay? If you cherish that kind of hate in your heart, God's gonna judge you on that, okay? I'm gonna briefly bring up a very touchy subject. I'm gonna bring up immigration. The immigration thing is a very touchy subject, and it's from a Christian standpoint. I just try to figure what God wants me to do. You can fight about the immigration thing. You can fight whether or not we want them here or not. But you still have to save them, okay? And something I have noticed that I'm pretty sure, and I'm not saying they're all like this, most immigrants in my belief, are not coming from countries where Christianity is a huge thing. Real Christianity, okay? I'm not talking about Catholicism, because I don't believe Catholic Church is a good religion. I'm talking about real. Look at the area. Look at the countries that have real Christians are at. Okay, I just typed in Protestant, and I know not all Protestant denominations are okay, but I'm excluding the Catholic Church. Okay, because the Catholic Church is very evil in my eyes. It's a bad religion. Okay, So I'm trying to see what God's plan is here. The problem is most real Christians are in a couple of countries. And so these immigrants are coming from false religions and countries that they don't know who Jesus is. And so I'm going to take a wild guess, and I'm pretty sure I'm correct on it. Maybe not every single person, but most immigrants are not Christian. They don't have a relationship with Jesus. That's probably why God is allowing it to mingle a little bit more, okay? Because them coming here is probably their only opportunity to know who Christ is. So if you see an immigrant, whether or not you think they should be here or not, you still have to teach them about Jesus, okay? You have to teach them about God's law, okay? You still have the same responsibility of teaching people about Christ if they're here from another country or not, okay? Your job is to convert them, okay? And yeah, so that's probably what God's plan is with all this immigration is. Because most real Christians are in America and Australia. Okay? Like, that's not a coincidence. Okay? I'm excluding the Catholic Church. Okay, most real Christians are most likely in America. They're Americans. Okay, so that's probably why God is allowing all this immigration, because that's their only opportunity to know who Christ is and get the gospel. That's how I'm seeing the situation. Okay, so that's your responsibility, regardless if you think they should be here or not, legal or not. You have to tell them about the gospel regardless. Okay, that's your job. And and then them even going back willingly or unwillingly may even be part of God's plan. Let's say, for example, you have immigrant from Mexico. Okay, I'm just picking one. You've converted them. You have to tell them, hey man, you're not supposed to be praying to Mary, because I know that's the prominent religion in Mexico. And I'm not saying there aren't real Christians in Mexico, but that country is primarily Catholic, and they need help. They need to be converted. So let's just say a person from Mexico comes here, and you've taught them about the gospel, and they get sent back, or they go back willingly. Now that is one more person that country has to convert to everyone else. You understand what God's plan could be? Okay, you understand what God's plan is, I hope. And I know I'm not stupid. I know that's probably not going to happen in most cases, but even in those small cases, that's a victory. Okay, it's a victory. All right, so yeah. What's kind of funny is it can technically happen the other way around, even though it's less likely, but not impossible. It's possible an immigrant who was a real Christian came here and saved you. You know what I mean? I guess that could have happened too. You know what I mean? That should always be the point, no matter which side you're on. If you're a Christian, you need to convert people no matter what. Your job is to convert people regardless of what sin you think they're in, okay? Even if the people here are Americans, you still have to convert them. You still have the same job, basically. You have the same job, alright? You have to convert them, and even them being sent back or going back might be part of God's plan, because now this is going to be spread out a little bit better, okay? Because I don't really agree that all Christians should be in one spot. They should be spread out more. So that's probably what God's plan is. You understand what I'm saying? Alright. Alright, I'm going to talk about something else, okay? I'm kind of just hitting on some subjects I wanted to talk about, and then I'm going to go back to my regular content. Okay, so if you're in it doesn't matter what race or what country you're from or whatever. Okay, if you are in a false religion, you're always going to be off balance. Okay, and I'll give you biblical evidence of that later at the end of the video. So there are just some things that are never going to change. You can't have a good relationship with Jesus and think that Muhammad is a savior too, or think Buddha or Shiva. You can't be both. You can't say you're a Christian and say another religion is okay too. It's impossible. You can't pray to Mary. These are things that are never going to change. They're never going to change. If you're going to be a real Christian, you can't believe in gay rights. I mean, you can't believe in gay marriage, okay? You can believe that these people have rights, like you shouldn't go kill them. Yes, that's true. You can't believe in abortion. These are fixed ideas in Christianity, if you're a real Christian. That's why I believe the Catholic Church is evil, because they believe that you can be a Catholic and believe in these other religions too. They're very open to you being both. They're inconsistent with the Bible, okay? And I think they're just not going to change, okay? Because these people in these religions and these false ideas like homosexuality, if the minute you give them rights, it's going to turn into entitlement every single time, okay? Because they're imbalanced. They don't know who Jesus is. They're very imbalanced. Just like a couple of... We had gay marriage. It was a right to get gay marriage, and now it just kept going, right? They're not happy with it. And if you don't know Christ, you are going to be racist in one way or another. You're going to be you're going to be off balance, okay? So you're going to think that your race is more entitled than everyone else's race. Doesn't matter which race you're in. You want rights as a human being, but then you want the people in your race or your religion to be entitled. You believe that they're entitled. It's going to start turning into entitlement. Okay? You're going to start thinking you're better than everyone else, whether it be your race okay, or your religion, okay? You're gonna start thinking, and you're gonna start demanding it in a way that's very unhealthy, okay? That's always gonna happen. All right, it's just another form of hate. You think you're better than everyone else, so you hate everyone else. You deserve everything. Okay, you deserve all the rights, even if it takes away from other people. Okay. And the thing is with rights that leads to entitlement is when you're really that unbalanced, you feel that you're really entitled. You cannot see yourself doing anything wrong. You can't admit that you're ever wrong with anything. Okay, it's a form of vanity. Okay, you have to admit that you could be wrong about things. All right. For example, okay, I know of lots of Republicans, because I'm picking on the left a little bit. I'll even it out a bit, okay? I know lots of Republicans who love Trump. They really are racist. They'll admit that they're racist, okay? I know lots of Republicans who are actually just racist because they're also unbalanced, okay? What about homophobic? Homophobia is a thing. There are people who hate gay people, like actually hate them. Okay? If you're a real Christian, you can't be homophobic. You can disagree with what they're doing and say that they're sinning. They are. But you can't hate them and be a Christian either. Like, if you actually hate a group of people, like if just hearing them or seeing them fills your heart with hate, that's probably a bad thing, a bad sign, okay? If your heart is being filled with hate, if just at the very mention of a group of people, you really need to reconsider your relationship with Christ, okay? Yes, I believe being homosexual is a sin, but hating them and wanting them to go to hell is not a good look either, okay? And that's not to say this stuff can't anger you or frustrate you. You're going to be angry and frustrated, but you have to let God take care of the anger for you after a while. You can't let it sit and fester, okay? Sometimes these people can be very annoying and very frustrating, okay? But you can't fester in that, okay? You have to process it through Christ, right? Correctly, all right? And your emotions are off balance, your mind will be off balance, and the only way to balance it is if you accept Jesus in your heart. I'm actually going to bring up another thing. I'm going to talk about the original definition of what sin means. Sin means to do something evil or do something bad. Okay, actually, the word sin is an old archery term. It means to miss the middle. Okay, to be off on the center. Okay. It literally means to be missing the point. You're missing the point. If you don't accept Christ, you're always going to be missing the point. Literally, if you do not accept Christ, you will always be in sin. Because sin is an old archery term. It means to miss one of these breastplates. It means to miss the point. You're not getting it. You're going to be off balance. Okay? It literally means to miss one of these stones. Even more of them is even worse. It means to miss the middle. That's what sin usually meant. It meant it's an old archery term. It means when you don't hit the bullseye. Okay, you're always going to miss it. You're always going to be off. You're always going to miss the point if you don't accept Christ. All right? And people don't understand that. Like, why do I have to accept Jesus in my heart? Because that is the only way you can ever properly be balanced. Okay? And I'll prove that to you. I'm going to use a Bible passage. Okay? Okay. I'm going to use this Bible passage, these Bible stories. This is called the judgment of, this is called the breastplate of righteousness, the judgment, okay? This is symbolism. The priests and the people of God, they have this breastplate on, and they have all these jewels. It's over their chest, that's where their heart is, okay? This is a proper balance. There's 12 stones. There's a proper balance here of feelings and emotions, okay? All right, yes. Sometimes God gets angry. Sometimes Jesus even got angry once. He flipped over those tables in the church. He was mad. Okay? You can get frustrated and mad sometimes. Okay? You're not just going to be peaceful all the time, but you have to be slow to anger. Okay? You have to be slow to anger. Not that being angry is necessarily a sin, but if you're like that all the time, that's the problem. Okay? Anyway, the priest had a balanced judgment. Okay? They have a balance. But it's very interesting because Satan's breastplate is missing 3 stones. He has 9 stones on his breastplate. Okay, it's in the book of Ezekiel, alright? That's God saying you're missing the point. You're missing the balance, and you will never get it without Christ. Okay? He's missing 3 stones, which could represent the Trinity, right? You're missing the Holy Spirit, you're missing Jesus, you're missing God. You're not getting it. You're missing the 3 stones. You're going to be unbalanced all the time. Even if you genuinely feel bad for people, it's going to be unbalanced. Even if you think your heart's in the right place, or with people from different religions, you should have empathy towards them. You should. Christian, I do. I have empathy towards gay people. I have empathy towards... But you have so much empathy that you just think that what they're doing is okay. That's not balanced. Okay? You still have to stop it. You still have to stop it. You should feel love and empathy for people, but you have to also remember that you have to convert them so they don't die. So they don't die and go to hell. Okay? Satan is an improper balance. And it's not just talking about Satan, it's talking about you. Okay? You are always going to be off balance with your feelings and emotions in your mind. If you don't accept Christ, it's always going to throw you off. Alright? Anyway. Yeah, so God uses the imbalance of the heart. The judgment of the heart is going to be off. Even if you're genuinely just trying to help people and coming from the right place. Some of the people in the left, they don't like racism, but it's being off balanced. They want to show love, but it's being off balance, and now look what happened. Okay? And you have to admit that you're wrong. That's what repenting means. You have to admit that you're wrong. Okay? And the thing is, if you don't accept Christ, you can never admit that you're wrong in the right way. All right? It'll never happen right. All right. Anyway, that's all. So please think about this stuff, guys, and thank you.